Next, let's look at global using directives. Global using lets you to specify the directive just once and apply it to all files within the assembly. To understand more, let's pick some of the project that has been worked on before and we'll try to convert them using the global using directives. For this, I'm going to consider one of the project that I have used for web API development. So for this, I'm going to my GitHub, github.com/CodeWithPraveen. I go to repositories. Let me pick one of the project, say ASP.NET Core Web API. Here I have got two projects, namely cms.data.repository and cms.webapi. As the name tells, this project is going to be a class library that deals with the databases using Entity Framework, and cms.webapi is a web API project type in ASP.NET Core, wherein it is used to expose the API endpoints. But do not worry if in case you do not know about web APIs. That's okay. The main intention here is to pick one of the project that we have developed before and try to enhance that using the C# 10 features. Hence, do not worry in case you do not understand about these projects or the web API concepts. You just focus on the newly introduced C# concepts that is being added to these projects. So let me go to code and then download them. I'm going to grab these two. Then go to my Finder and then paste it here. Alright, so now we have got these two projects here. As you can see, now it's going to give some errors. The reason being I do not have .NET 5 installed in this machine. I have only .NET 6 and hence it's not able to find the .NET 5 references. It's okay, we are going to correct all these mistakes. To begin with, to understand about the global using statements or the directives, just see how we have been using in the past. Here you can see that for each of the files we have a set of using statements. It can be either the .NET directives or it can be those that have been defined by us. So in this example, anything starts with CMS is the custom namespaces that is defined by me. If you go to any of the files, all the files are going to contain at least one namespace. This has been the norm for years. Right, so you have all this. So here you had controllers, DTOs, mappers, and corresponding program and startup files. So each has its own files. Now using the global using, what you can do is you can move all these using statements into a single location and have a global scope, which means the scope is at the entire project level. Hence, if you define, for instance, using system.link at a single place using global, then it will no need to be repeating at multiple places. To do this, you create a new file called globalUsings.cs and then go to one of the projects and then copy here. One point here is that you no need to create a separate file like globalUsings.cs. You can use any of the existing files and then use to denote the global usings as well. But I strongly recommend you to move it to a single file so that it is easier for you to look as well as manage. To make it a global scope, C# 10 has got a new keyword called global. So once you do this, then this is going to be applied or applicable for all the files within the current scope, which means our current assembly. So to do this for all, let's go to each of these files and then I'm going to remove it and then add it to the global usings. Let me go to each of these files. We have got the mappers. Of course, there are going to be some duplicates, you can remove it. Alright, we just have one more controller. Okay, so now we have removed or deleted all the using statements from each of the files and moved to a single location. You need to now prefix all these with global. So do this. I'm going to do a find and replace. Let me use it to replace using with global using. Let me do at one shot. Of course, since we already done, it's going to show repetition. Okay, still it's going to give us error. The reason being it still points to .NET 5.0. To make it compatible with 6.0, you change the moniker from .NET 5.0 to 6.0. So this is going to target .NET 6 framework. And then there are going to be some duplicates that you can remove. Or you can use this. Okay, now it has removed all the duplicates. Okay, once you do this, we have a clean set of global statements that you can be used in any of the files. Looks like we have got some mistakes. Let's go and correct it. So here we have not removed. Let's remove it from here. Let's make sure it's not duplicated. Okay, and then let's go to controller. This looks fine. I think we have now done a restore, so let's do that. Then it should be okay. Okay, it's not able to find open API info. Looks like when you had used the remove unnecessary strings using this option, it has removed one of the namespace by mistake. Okay, let's go to this file. Okay, this is in startup.cs. So let's get back to our GitHub, web API, startup.cs. Let's look at the namespaces. Okay, so here we have got multiple and it has removed for one of the namespace that has been used by that specific code. So in startup.cs, we can see it is error is related to OpenAPI info. So if I am not wrong, this is going to be in this namespace, Microsoft.openapi.models. Let's make it global. Now build the project. Okay, this looks fine now. Looks like this is getting repeated. Yes, so we can remove this. Now with this, you can see that we have created a global usings.cs file and moved all the using statements to a single file. Once it is done, then any of the CS files no need to have these namespaces. It makes your code a lot cleaner. You look at here, we don't have any namespaces. That's good. Hence, if you have any existing projects, if you are going to target .NET 6.0, then I recommend you to move all these namespaces here so that you can tidy up your code to a better extent. Moreover, there is another concept introduced in C# 10, namely implicit global usings. This means that when .NET supports these global usings, it also knows that for some of the common structures that has been introduced by them, like the system-related APIs, it knows which namespace they belong to. For example, if you have console.writeline, it is introduced by .NET. It's a .NET API. So .NET knows to which namespace it belongs to. So in that case, we no need to include those statements as well. For instance, we have got the using system. So now since this is part of the usual .NET framework, you can consider to remove this. The application should still work fine. The reason being, whenever there is any usage of the APIs that belongs to the system namespace, it's going to implicitly consider that using statement. What I suggest you is to have all the namespaces here and let .NET take care of it. Hence, I'm going to leave all these system namespaces as it is. Whenever I'm going to create a new project using .NET new command, then .NET takes care of not adding those system related namespaces. I'm going to follow the same. For existing ones, you just group them into a single file. It can even include the systems. That's still okay. For any new projects, anyway, .NET is going to take care of ignoring those system.related namespaces. The reason being, not all system namespaces can be removed. Only those that are supported by .NET as per a specific project type can be removed. To avoid this confusion, I suggest to let it as it is.